Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool to use the computer, don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There is a war going on, the battlefield's in the mind, and the prize is the soul. So, just be careful.
It's been quite a year in Britain and around the world for losing great entertainers and other people well known to the public. And it was with a deep sadness last night that I heard that we now have to add Prince to that list. I'm not really into music. I haven't been since the 1960s when I was into it big time. But of course I knew of Prince, not least because of his efforts to end what he saw as his slavery to the corporate record giants. And I remember looking on while that was happening, thinking, good on you, mate, go for it. But I didn't know a lot about Prince then, until out of nowhere I got an invitation to go and meet him and attend one of his concerts at the O2 Arena in London. He did 21 shows in 2007, and they were extraordinary. And it turned out that he'd read some of my books and wanted to talk to me, which was kind of obviously very surprising to me, but great, all for it. And I went along with my son Gareth, the singer-songwriter. And like I say, I've not really been into music since the 60s, certainly not been to music events. But that night, it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And while I know next to nothing about music, certainly can't play it, can play a triangle in tune, what I can do is see energy beyond what we call the physical. And as I was watching that amazing event that night, it was clear that Prince was not just making music, he was the music.
Hello, thank you. Just to say in relation to Gareth, the song he started out with today, you know, Get Your Love On, it's available in the foyer for a donation. I think £1 is the less donation, and all profits for anyone who buys it anywhere go to Gaza charities. So, well done, Gaz. Now, awaken, awaken, awaken.
I love the man, and I'm thrilled to be here today, as I'm sure you are as well. He's coming out in a couple of minutes, but before he does, please do me a favour. Be upstanding, give a proper Manchester welcome, raise the roof for the amazing, the brilliant, and the fiendishly handsome Gareth Icke. Come on!
breathe, needs to breathe, yeah, yeah.
And with the band.
David Icke was born in Leicester, England on April 29, 1952, and he was clearly very pleased to be here. His was a working class background in post-war England. He felt from an early age that he was here to do something, although he didn't know what. He thought at first that it was to be a footballer, a love throughout his childhood that led him to play as a professional throughout his teenage years until arthritis ended his career. He went on to be a journalist and BBC presenter, becoming a well-known face on British television for many years. He was also a national spokesman for the British Green Party in the 1980s, before the day his life was to change forever. For a year throughout 1989, he felt a presence around him. When he was alone, he felt that something else was always there, and it became ever more tangible. This led him to a professional psychic, Betty Shine, to see if she would pick up what was happening to him. He told her nothing about his experience, but she said that a presence was communicating to him through her. She said David was going out on a world stage to reveal great secrets. One man communicated the message. She said he was in enormous opposition. They would always be there to fight. David's life became an amazing journey of synchronicity, leading him to people, documents, information, and personal experiences that gave him the puzzle pieces to reveal what is really happening in the world behind the smokescreen of lies, suppression, and manipulation. The journey took him to Peru, where incredible experiences followed, including a download of information on a hill close to a sacred Inca site, recreated here on a return visit in 2012, which involved him standing unable to move in a powerful electromagnetic field of every hour. His life then changed dramatically yet again. For 3 months after that experience, David said he was lost in a bewildered daze. Such was the impact of the massive energetic information download that he was struggling to process. He said it was like a computer freezing with too many keys pressed too quickly. In that same period, he appeared on a primetime BBC television chat show to talk about what had happened, and it led to mass public and media ridicule on a scale ongoing, year after year, that few will ever have experienced. It was historic in its intensity.
The audience tonight. But just let me say this.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Fine.
In the face of that enormous backlash, David thought his life was over, but it had only just begun. 3 months after the Peru experience, he says everything morphed back into clarity, and while he appeared to friends to be the old David again, he wasn't. Suddenly he could see the world in a way that he had not before. In his words, he could see beyond the program that holds humanity in often unknowing servitude. He has crisscrossed the world over and over and written a stream of books that have proved to be extraordinarily accurate in predicting world events and the direction of human society. The man that they said was bad is now at the cutting edge of exposing the human plight, lifting the veil on all that has been kept from us. As David once said, today's mighty oak is just yesterday's nut that held its ground. Prepare for a day you will never forget. Ladies and gentlemen, David Icke.
We talked for about half an hour after the event at the O2, and I found him quiet man, very, very respectful to me and Gareth, which, to be honest, at that time especially, was not something I was used to. And it was clear, talking to him, that he had realized and seen that the world is not controlled by the forces that people are told are in control, like politicians and the usual cover story that we're given about how the world is run and to what end. He talked to me about his support and his faith through the Jehovah's Witnesses, which I was kind of surprised at. It didn't really fit into the picture just from where I'm coming from, but everyone to their own. But what he was a public expression of all the inspiration and potential that's lying in wait for anyone who wants to or chooses to open their minds from the normal program and connect with it. Well, to me, Prince, not the body, the consciousness, the awareness, the eternal uniqueness, is where he was when he was, quote, here. Because we confuse the body with consciousness. And that level of consciousness that he was tapping into, that brought this fantastic music into manifestation,